Let me welcome our nominee this morning, Ms. Caroline Kennedy Schlossberg of New York, to be the ambassador to Japan. Let me welcome the family as well, because we always say that those who make a commitment to foreign service, that their families are part of that commitment, and we appreciate their willingness and sacrifice to be part of serving the nation in that respect. Let me take the opportunity to recognize the distinguished ambassador of Japan to the United States, Ambassador Sasai, who is here today. Welcome, Mr. Ambassador. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you taking the time to join us. Let me just say, Senator Rubio wanted, for the record, to be known that he can't attend today's hearing because of death in his family, but otherwise he would have been present for this hearing. And so we send our condolences to him and his family. To all of us on both sides of the aisle, no matter our politics, the Kennedy name has been synonymous with public service for over a century, a family that has sacrificed so much in service to the nation. Ms. Kennedy, your Uncle Ted was a good friend to me here in the Senate, probably one of the best friends I had when I came here, and a good friend to many of our colleagues. His ability to express strong convictions, yet find a way to reach across the aisle, was a compelling example of what good governance is all about. And Vicki, it's great to see you here today as you join in your niece's efforts here. You represent a legacy of the best and brightest in politics in a time in our history when we stood at the confluence of intellectualism and a respect for public service and government. You bring to this opportunity to serve the nation an extraordinary range of qualifications beyond the oversimplified perceptions of your family pedigree, your own experiences, your own abilities, your own perspective that uniquely, I believe, qualify you for this position. As an author and editor, president of the John F. Kennedy Library Foundation, chair of the Senior Advisory Committee of the Institute of Politics at Harvard, a trustee of the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, vice chair of the Fund for Public Schools in New York City, board member of New Visions for Public Schools, honorary chair of the American Ballet Theater, board of directors of the NAACP, as well as on the Commission on Presidential Debates. You have lived a life that honors your family's history of service to the arts and education, government, and the nation. And I believe you'll bring a broad intellectual curiosity and commitment to serve in your new role as ambassador. If confirmed, as my colleagues have said, you'll be the first woman to represent the United States as our ambassador to Japan, a post that has been held by some of the most respected leaders in our country. Senator Mike Mansfield, the longest-serving U.S. ambassador to Japan, former Speaker of the House Tom Foley, and former Vice President Walter Mondale. It is a post that has always been, and remains, one of the utmost importance to this nation and to the people of Japan. Your nomination underscores the regional importance of the relationship between our two nations. Now, having just visited Japan and the region this past August, I can tell you that you will assume these new duties as rise of the Asia-Pacific region may well prove to be the single most transformative geopolitical shift of the 21st century. You will arrive in Tokyo at a time when friction between Japan and China on maritime disputes is high, and many challenges lie ahead as Asia-Pacific issues become global. You'll arrive at the region takes on new economic importance. In 2010, U.S. exports to the Asia-Pacific region totaled $775 billion, up almost 26% from 2009. And in 2011, it totaled $895 billion, accounting for 60% of our exports, creating and sustaining millions of U.S. jobs in sectors across the board, from automobiles to power generation, machinery, aircraft, and other vital sectors of our industrial economy. In just 3 years, we've gone from $775 billion in exports to the region to almost $900 billion, and we can assume that figure will be $1 trillion in the not-too-distant future. I think it's safe to say that for the rest of this century and beyond, much of the strategic, political, and economic future of the world will likely be shaped by the decisions made in Washington and the capitals in this region over the next 4 to 5 years. Our alliance with Japan is a cornerstone of our strategic engagement in Asia, which will put you front and center in the U.S.-Japan Partnership of Equals, a partnership that links the world's first and third largest economies and our shared commitment to democracy and human rights. When it comes to the economies of our nations, Japan is a valuable trade and economic partner. Its views on regulation, the environment, and intellectual property complement those of the United States, and your voice on these issues will be America's voice in Tokyo. On the Trans-Pacific Partnership, we look forward to working with Japan towards a comprehensive agreement that addresses labor, the environment, currency manipulation, and intellectual property rights. For Congress to support the TPP, we need to be assured that our industries are competing with Japanese industries on a level playing field, and as ambassador, you'll be part of that effort. You'll be at the table on our military presence in Japan on issues concerning Okinawa, and you'll be at the table in bridging whatever differences may arise between our nation. So let me close by saying your father, in a commencement address at Syracuse University the year you were born, not too long ago, described the nexus between education and intellectualism and the importance of public service, reminding students that, quote, our nation's first great politicians were truly our ablest, most respected, most talented leaders who moved from one field to another with amazing versatility and vitality. In that speech, he reminded graduates that a contemporary described Thomas Jefferson as a gentleman who could calculate an eclipse, survey an estate, tie an artery, plan an edifice, try a cause, break a horse, dance a minuet, and play the violin. Now, I don't believe your father would have expected you to dance a minuet, but his point is well taken. Your background, your experience, your versatility, your intellect, and the legacy of service your family has stood for in American history makes you exactly the kind of person we need to serve the interests of this nation as ambassador to Japan.